Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 2021. The album. Dad. AF. Rock on! Boost! Gold Dust. Woman. Boost! Happy Tuesday. How are you guys doing? I was having a great day until I went outside and it started snowing. I couldn't even believe it. I'm like, what is going on here? But before I get into this video, which I'm going to be talking about Gabbie Hanna and the explosion of tweets and Instagram stories from the last 24 hours and my response to that, I want to give a very special thank you to AdamandEve.com for sponsoring yet another video on my channel. Thank you, AdamandEve.com. I have worked with them now for over the last year. Over the past year? Whose year, what year? It doesn't matter. Anyway, I am so happy that I have been able to continue to work with them. They have been so fantastic. So many of you have reached out to me and said, hey, thank you for your code. I used your code. We used your code. We all use. I scream. You scream. We all scream for Adam and Eve. So anyway, I just want to say thank you so much. If you watch my Peterisms channel or if you watch my vlog, you know I talk a lot about my husband and I going to couples counseling, marriage counseling, and how much it helped us. I talk a lot about the 12 points of intimacy, of which physical intimacy is just one part of that. But you know, in talking about that, it has been so fantastic to have so many of my friends that are couples, so many of you that are couples reach out to me and say, my girlfriend and I sat down and we ordered something, or my husband and I sat down and we ordered something. Some of you tell me what you ordered, some of you don't. That's fine. I just am so happy that you guys use my code. It just means a lot to me, and it makes me very, very happy. And when you make me happy, that makes Adam and Eve happy, which hopefully makes you happy, okay? And why wouldn't we all want to be happy? So go use my code at AdamandEve.com. It is code Peter. Thankfully, my name is not Richard, because then my code would be, you know what. Anyway, but my code is code Peter, and with that code, you get 50% off your first item, plus free shipping and handling in the United States and Canada. Some exclusions apply, okay? And they have 24-hour customer service, and I'm like counting on my fingers, and 90-day hassle-free, which means if you get something and you're like, it doesn't fit, well, then you can send it back, okay? And 20% of the proceeds go to the prevention of HIV and AIDS around the world, which I think is fantastic. So I love working with AdamandEve.com. If you get something from them and you want to let me know, hey, let me know, and I think that's cool. So thank you so much. All right, let's get into today's video. Woo! It's hot in here today because I've been reading all this stuff about Gabbie Hanna. Gabbie Hanna, she's gone off, okay? She's had it. She has had it. She's not doing this anymore, okay? Gabbie Hanna's had it. She's defending herself now, okay? She's not taking this stuff lightly no more. She's had it. This ain't my first time at the rodeo. Anyway, I don't even know where to start with this video. Okay, I woke up today. I'm like, listen, I just want my coffee, you know? And I got all of these DMs from people saying, please talk about Gabbie Hanna. I'm like, I don't even know what's been going on with Gabbie Hanna. So I started looking, right? Woo! Okay. Gabbie Hanna, she has gone on this Instagram. I mean, when you look at her Instagram story, it's like this. She has so many posts on her Instagram story. It's just like, I don't even know how you keep up with it, okay? But I recorded it for all of you because I knew you wouldn't understand. If I didn't understand, we didn't understand. None of us understood unless we watch it together. And I still don't understand, okay? So here's kind of the breakdown of it, I guess, okay? I'm just making an assumption on this. Gabbie Hanna is mad because this girl, she's been doing some not so nice, apparently, she didn't do the compliment sandwich, okay? Now, if you don't know what the compliment sandwich is, per Gabbie Hanna, she has said this before, the compliment, or the critical sandwich, or the compliment, I think it's the compliment sandwich. I've never had one, okay? I don't go to Subway and order the compliment sandwich. But apparently the compliment sandwich is that when you're critiquing somebody or you're giving them a criticism, you know, something like, I don't really like your shirt, okay? You say something like, your hair looks pretty, I don't really like your shirt, but your nails look nice, okay? So you stick or hide the criticism in between the two compliments. You get it? Because we're all in 3rd grade and we can't handle adult critique. Apparently. I guess that's what it is, okay? Apparently, as grown folk, we can't handle any kind of criticism of the world. I don't know. I'm very confused about this compliment sandwich, and if the world really worked that way, can you imagine? First of all, I just want to say this, okay? Now, I know y'all are watching this and you're like, Peter is going to come for Gabbie Hanna. Now, in talking about her poetry and stuff, I'm going to be somewhat fair, okay? And I am going to go buy her 2 poetry books, and I'm going to be doing full reviews over here, okay? One, because she said this girl is just doing reviews of her poetry book because she's getting hundreds of thousands of views on it, which I looked and she is. And I thought, well, hell, if reviewing a Gabbie Hanna poetry book will get you 500,000 views, I'm missing the boat. I'm going to do that over here. So I am going to review her books, okay? Number one, for that reason, because, I mean, I've never shied away from saying that I wanted views on my channel. I love when people are like, you're just doing this for the views. Duh. I mean, listen, YouTubers don't make videos because they don't want people to watch them. Did you just wake up yesterday? Okay, sure, I'll make a video of reading Gabbie Hanna's poetry, and you know what? It'll get 9,000 views and nobody will care, okay? I'm just telling you right now. But the other reason is because Gabbie Hanna said in her, I don't even know if I have it. I can't even read. Listen, I got so much, look down here. I got so much chicken scratch on my notes because I was like watching all the Instagram stories. But she said in here that she, where is it? Something to the effect of, I don't even know how I have it written. I can't even read my writing. But she said something to the effect of, she's not going to take criticism from anybody that's basically not intellectual or knows what they're talking about because they're in the world of artistry or writing or whatever. So, I have a bachelor's degree in English, and I have written a book and published a book. I also was the chief editor-in-chief of my college literary magazine. I have also had published poetry myself, and I also have 2 book clubs and a booktube channel. So I think I'm kind of qualified to review Gabbie Hanna's poetry, okay? That being said, a lot of people are now coming out of the woodwork apparently, and I think this is part of what Gabbie's having a problem with, is that because this person came out and said that her poetry is bad, that she doesn't like that, okay? Well, here's the thing. We can use words like bad poetry or good poetry or whatever. They're just not very descriptive, okay? And when you go in to critique somebody's work of art, whether, and I don't know, maybe we should be doing this with music too, I don't know, but I'm just talking about poetry right now, and I have taken my fair share of classes, okay, in critiquing poetry. So when you critique poetry, you wouldn't say things like, well, that's a bad poem. I mean, it doesn't really tell you anything about that poem. Now, I have not read her work other than the 4 poems that she posted just in the last 24 hours on Twitter. And so I read those 4 poems, and just based off that, I'm going to tell you my assessment of what I see in Gabbie Hanna's poetry, okay? I think it comes across to me as amateurish and sophomoric. And what I mean by that is, it is apparent that Gabbie Hanna she hasn't taken a lot of poetry writing classes, okay? She doesn't really know, she doesn't have like the technical skills of being a poetry writer, okay? Or being a poet. That being said, okay, you don't have to have a doctorate to be a poet. If Gabbie Hanna is writing down her feelings and her emotions in a poem, and somebody relates to it and says, I relate to this poem, I like this poem speaks to me, that's all it needs to be said. Okay, it's the same thing with a song. Just because you might think the lyrics of somebody's song suck doesn't mean that it's a bad song, because somebody else might find that song to be fantastic. So it's really to the listener or to the reader or whatever. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to give a fair critique of these poetry books. You know, I will tell you this, what was interesting to me before I get into the meat and potatoes of what she's upset about was that I actually went into the website Goodreads. I don't know if you guys know what Goodreads is, but Goodreads is a website and an app that you can go into. A lot of booktubers, bookstagrammers. There's a whole community of us out there that read books, just so you know, okay? I know Gabbie Hanna's not real happy with the people that are critiquing her on YouTube that are not on BookTube, but there's a lot of us out there that are reading books that do know what we're doing a little bit, okay? And anybody that can read a book, I think, is in a fair position to give a review. Anybody can give a review. You can listen to a song one time, and you can give a review, your review. You can say, I think this song sucks, or I don't like it, or I don't relate to the lyrics, or whatever, right? But there's a lot of people over that use Goodreads on a regular basis that are not Gabbie Hanna super fans. And so I went over there because I wanted to see what her rating was on Goodreads. And I was kind of surprised, honestly. So from her first book, which is called Adultolescence, it's a poetry book, it has a current common rating of 3.27 stars, which in all honesty is not horrible, okay? I mean, it's not a 5-star, it's not a 4-star, but it's not bad. It's not a bad rating. And then underneath there, she has 9,000 ratings and 1,387 reviews, which is interesting when you look at this, because if you compare it to other YouTubers who have had books on the New York Times bestseller list, for example, Shane Dawson, for example, Joey Graceffa, she has more ratings and reviews than they do, and that other YouTubers that have had big books out there. So that's interesting to me that Gabbie Hanna is actually getting quite a few views and quite a few reviews and ratings on her books. Okay, then the next thing, if you go over here and you look, the community ratings between a 5-star and a 1-star really aren't that drastically different if you go over and look at them. They're very, very similar, okay? Then in our second book, Dandelion, which came out, it is sitting at a 3.65 rating out of 5 stars with 991 ratings and 262 reviews. Now, what surprises me about that is that, oh, dropped my glasses. Oh, that happens when you're the old man. Oh, dropped them again. That happens when you're, when you're the old man of YouTube, is that really has no ratings or reviews on it at all, which makes me kind of wonder if the people that read the book the first time were not that interested in the book the second time. When you go over to the rating score, you can see that the 5 stars to the 1 star are similar again. You don't usually see that on a lot of book ratings. On a lot of book ratings, you see like a lot of 5s and 4s and not so many 3, 2s, and 1s, or a lot of 1s and 2s and not so many 3, 4s, and 5s. So it's kind of interesting to me that she has reviews all over the place, which to me would almost make me think that it's not so much just people that love her. But when you go in here, and I actually read two of the top, what do you call it, newest reviews. One of them is for 5 stars, and it says, "Where do I start? This was perfection. Every story I love. I can't give you my top 5 adolescents because all the poems would make my list. The writing style was beautiful. I love a section of the stories I have to get drunk to tell. The drawings were beautiful. Again, I need Gabbie to release a 3rd book, but for right now, I will continue listening to her music, which I also recommend." 5 stars. Okay. Then the next person was 2 stars and said, "I see the improvement. It seems like she actually made an effort this time, and I appreciate that. However, I still feel like this seemed a little rushed or unfinished. Some of the poems were good, but a lot of them needed more work and thought. Her first book reminded me of tweets that should have stayed as drafts. This book reminded me of poetry, Tumblr poetry, and big words without that much meaning behind it. I see where she was going. I just think it wasn't as good as it could be. Had she listened a little more to the feedback she got from her first published work and took the poetry further." And that's where it's important to be really listening to the critiques that you're receiving from people. That being said, I think people are being a little too harsh when it comes to this book. She clearly wrote about some serious issues and traumatic experiences. Rating it 1 star because you read the first page ain't it. She gave it 2 stars. But I think that's interesting. It's saying, hey, Gabbie, if you want to be the best poet possible, then why not listen to the critiques that people are giving you? And I absolutely agree with that. Why, if you're going to be any kind of artist, you are so like unteachable to basically first song, first poem say, I'm it, okay? Well, what happens there's no growth from there. How boring life would be if there was nowhere to grow from that, you know? I mean, are you telling me that, the famous poets, of Emily Dickinson and, Sylvia Plath, that people that when they wrote their first poems, that they literally thought, I'm a poet laureate, like I have won it now, Or the first song that Beyonce ever sung that she was like, this is it, I have nowhere to grow. A lot of famous musicians to this day still have vocal coaches. A lot of famous poets still run their poetry by beta readers, and so do authors. I will say this, in reading the 4 poems that I read, they really come across to me almost more as song lyrics than as poems, which is totally fine, right? If I were Gabbie, I would almost take these song lyrics and turn them into a poetry book and call my book something like B-side or something like a cassette tape. I think that would be really cool. But listen, the critiquing of all of this is just, that's the secondary thing. The primary thing that we're talking here today is that Gabbie Hanna is very, very upset with this Rachel girl who has critiqued her work. So, before I get into this any further, because this has already gone so far or so long, I am going to show you the Instagram stories. I'm just going to show you to them all together of the last 24 hours in Gabbie Hanna's life. Here you go.
Hey guys, I know you like to say that women are having a mental breakdown and blame any type of expression of emotions or defending themselves as being mentally incompetent and clearly going through something. I'm actually not going through something. I'm actually finally not going through something. I actually feel really good and strong and powerful, and I've really harnessed my sense of self and self-esteem. I'm just standing up for myself. So if you see standing up for yourself when you're constantly being exploited by people, tabloids, as drama, then yes, I'm a dramatic person. I don't feel embarrassed or like ashamed about that, and I'm going to continue to do that. And when I say that, I mean respond. I want to remind everybody that I'm responding to people who have said things about me publicly, false things, defamatory things, hurtful and slanderous things, and holding them accountable to their own actions as a way to highlight their hypocrisy and the fact that they don't actually care. They just want to make money. Anyway, I'm gonna go get a facial. Have a nice day. Hey, Rachel, instead of hopping in my DMs trying to bully and gaslight me from your own abuse, you could just apologize. I know that if I did anything like this, I would be called manipulative, sociopathic, narcissistic, attention hungry, money hungry, but that is what you are. What you did was bully and harass me for months, and then when you got called out of it, got super defensive. Like, you literally just ran away and blocked me instead of looking at your own criticism. You can't take criticism towards yourself at all. I've still never blocked you after all of the harassment. You can't stand even the tiniest ounce of criticism. You're a fucking monster. You're a bitch. Narcissistic abuses, when somebody hurts you over and over and over again over a prolonged period of time, and then whenever you finally stand up for yourself, they say you're having a breakdown. Where the real narcissism comes in is she says I'm talking about her for attention. You mean Miss 4K views on your fucking makeup tutorial? Miss 4K views on your commentary piece a week ago? Yeah, I just checked. I'm talking about you for attention. You talk about me, you get millions. I talk about you, I get still millions, but not because of you. The fact that she said attention-seeking games as if I've ever responded to her before. This is my first time responding to Rachel Oates. So what are my games? Is this a game, or am I just standing up for myself against the people who harassed, exploited, and profited off of me for almost a year? What is it, you manipulative, narcissistic bitch? Problem is, and this is where narcissistic abuse happens, is people think that they can say whatever they want about me and that I can't respond. I'm allowed to respond when I want. It took me a long time to heal and get better because there were mountains of happening to me from all directions at all times, and I couldn't go up against all of it. But right now, this morning, as people are tweeting about this shit, and it made me think about it, and it made me want to defend myself, I'm gonna defend myself. And you don't get to tell me I'm starting drama for finally responding to the months, the multiple videos, the millions of views, the tweets, the Instagram posts, the fact that you made a book mocking me. You fucking weird ass bitch, you published a book mocking me. Said everything I want to say unless she opens her fucking mouth and says something else, because I just want to let everyone know I don't give a fuck anymore about pretty much anything. I mean, I clearly give a fuck. What I mean is I don't give a fuck what people think about me. So I'm gonna start speaking my mind and saying what the fuck I want to say. And when I see harassment, bullying, and abuse, I'm going to stand up for myself the same way I stand up for everybody else. I'm done accepting behavior for myself that I would not accept for my friends. So unless she opens her fucking mouth again, I think I've said my piece. For now, I guess we'll see. But watch her turn this into a video series. If drama means finally having the strength to stand up against people who have harassed, mocked, exploited, and bullied you for years, yeah, I'm a fucking drama queen. I love the drama. I'm actually not responding out of nowhere. I'm responding because you have 8 to 10 videos about me on your channel. You published a book mocking me. You tried to cause drama between my actual friend and I. You went on Twitter accusing me of manipulating friend into standing up against you. What else? Instagram posts, tweets. You're a manipulative bitch, and I'm done dealing with it. Now, I was waiting for you to slow down so I could respond to everything at once when I was mentally strong. That doesn't mean I am having a breakdown. That actually means I'm finally healthy. You fucking sick, twisted bitch. I was done opening my mouth as long as she shut her fucking mouth, and she can't, which is funny because she doesn't want me to respond, and she literally can't help herself from responding even though she's wrong. Anyways, for those of you who don't know, basically what happened was I published a book that was about sexual abuse, childhood trauma, suicidal ideation, mental illness, mortality, amongst other things. It came out, it did great, it was a New York Times bestseller. It sold consistently $40,000 gross every single month for years. And then it was just doing really well. And then as soon as it was trendy to hate me because some person started some random fucking lies about me that nobody cared to look into because I didn't defend myself, then she started a hate campaign about my poetry book because it's so current, right? It's one thing I wish I could do and just don't know how, and will never learn how because it sounds like way too many fucking steps, and I can't do it. It's not interesting enough for me to learn. My workarounds work just fine. However, it would be beneficial if I took the time to learn how to work projects off of a hard drive. Like, you know how some people like plug in their projects? I have no idea how to fucking do that. So every time I start a new project, I have to fully export it and then make sure everything is like completely wiped clean. I have to go into Daisy Disk and do a clean like scrub and restart of my computer every single time I do a new project because I literally just don't know how to work off of an external hard drive, and I don't care. Other news, look how good the studio is turning out. Wait, you did not reverse, hold up. What the? Okay, there we go. Look at this fucking vibe. And you can pull out the MIDI keyboard right here. So sick. This is my favorite lamp. I think I showed this the other night, actually. I just can't believe how much I love it. It's weird, the connection I feel to that lamp. It brings me so much joy and happiness. Always have a candle burning. Always that red light in the corner. Oh, dude, I want to hang out in here all the time. The only problem is, for whatever reason, Fred does not fuck with it in here. I think it might smell like weed smoke. I need to stop smoking in here because there's so much sound absorbing material that it's also absorbing like smoke smell. So that sucks. So he doesn't like to come in here because it smells weird, is my theory. Actually, my theory is that he doesn't like it in here because sometimes the door is closed. So if I'm in here and the door is closed, he like feels like trapped away from me. So he doesn't like me to come in here because this is really the only room that the door is closed, except for at night, which he respects. Like, they don't bother us at night. But yeah, I think that's why he doesn't like it, because he knows that once I come in here, I'm like pretty lasered in and don't pay him enough attention. So he's been kind of bummed. So I've been trying to take out time to like pay attention to him, but it's hard to get on his schedule, dude. Freddie is really like finicky, and he like wants to be held when he wants to be held, and because he's a cat, you can't like compromise with him. Guys, I know I was just live here, but now I'm live here because it's just easier. So hi, swipe up if you want to join me. Getting DMs of people being like, are you okay? I'm here for you. I'm sorry you're going through this. Dude, I'm fine. I'm literally smoking a J and editing. Like, Megan was here earlier and we were just like chilling. Chilling. We ordered salads. That was nice. I ate half of mine. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just speaking my mind. I'm just speaking what I want to from now on. If I see something that triggers something I want to talk about, I'm going to talk about it, because I deserve to, because it's my own fucking life. And if I want to talk about my life, I'm just going to do that. So thanks for understanding. So today I'm on Angelica Oles because I think it's really fucking weird that a grown woman consistently inserts herself into my life and situations always without knowing literally fucking anything. So of course, Miss Angelica, she can't fucking help herself because she's desperate for fucking attention, and she knows that my name gets her a lot of a fucking attention.
Okay, so that was a lot, okay? And I can't keep up with all of it, and I'm not gonna read all of the tweets. I'm gonna go in and read a couple of them here in a second. I didn't even show all the entirety of the Instagram stories because it's a lot, you guys. It's just a lot. And this is where I've said before, like, you know, at the very beginning, the first thing I showed was like this Twitter thing. You know, Gabbie says, I'm not having a meltdown, I'm not having this, I'm not having that. sweetheart, you literally went on a rampage for 24 hours, and you went from, I'm defending myself, da-da-da, 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 through this whole range of things, okay, to the very end of saying, I'm smoking a J, I'm just hanging out, and then, oh, these are my candles, this is this, to going for people again, and now she's coming for Angelica Oles on Twitter, and I don't really understand enough of that to be talking about it, but it just seems to me, this is where, like, a good friend would say, sweetheart, you need to step away, okay? You need to step away from the TikTok and the YouTube. You know, you listen, you do very, very well. You have constantly let people know financially how well you have done by quoting money that you have made on your books and things like that. Maybe step away for 24 hours and go have a friend day, okay? Go hang out with some friends at the beach, or, I don't know, drive around and listen to music that inspires you. Put down the phone, put down the Twitter, put down the Instagram stories. You don't need to continue to do this, okay? And this is where I feel that she has this need to defend herself that just really isn't that important, okay, at the end of the day. And, you know, she said at the very beginning, she said, I don't care what people say anymore. Well, this is indicative of somebody that really does care what people think, okay? This shows that you really do care what people think. It doesn't show that you don't care. This is actually, and I don't know, you know, like I wrote here at the bottom, why is she doing this? I don't know if she's doing this to push book sales. You know, she's come out in the past and said, you know, she says in here, I like drama, but in the past she said she doesn't like drama. You know, I know Adam McIntyre did a video talking about her hypocrisy. I watched the whole thing. You know, it's true. I mean, she says one thing and then she does another. You know, it's like, at one point in here, she said, I'm done talking about this. Then she comes right back out and she does another Instagram story. And she said, I said I was done as long as she was done. No, you never said that. You said you were done, girl. You know, and it's like, and I think anybody watching this, I would love to know how the fans of Gabbie Hanna that love her, they watch this kind of stuff, because this is like yet again another example of this, where the fans that love Gabbie Hanna, and I'm just sitting on the outside looking in, okay? I'm being completely honest with how I feel about this. If you really, really love Gabbie Hanna and you see her get this worked up over defending herself, okay, over critiques that she is receiving, and I know it goes further than that. She said in there that, you know, it's like Instagram and Twitter, like there's a Twitter campaign against her, and there's always somebody out to get Gabbie Hanna. Somebody is always out to get Gabbie Hanna. I really, to be honest with you, even if it were true, I can't imagine living in a world where I always felt like somebody was out to get me, you know? And not working on that and saying, hey, you know what, and if that's true, and if they are, then they need to spin themselves out of control, and they need to go they need to be obsessed with me if they need to be obsessed with me, and I'm just gonna sit over here and I'm gonna do my thing, you know? I'm gonna actually read this in another video that I'm doing for another channel, but my friend, she's put this meme up, and on her Facebook, she's obsessed with the Facebook. This is my good Judy Tanya Jean, and I actually love this meme of what she said. Hold on a second. She said, life hit different when you stopped trying to prove you didn't say that. You didn't do that. You're not like that. You can't fix every lie and every rumor. Neither can you defend yourself every time something is said about you. Just be great. And I love that so much. I wish I lived that 24 hours a day. I don't. But see, when I get consumed and all of that kind of stuff, I have friends of mine that say, put the phone down, okay? Come get a fountain pop with me. Or my husband will say, babe, go plug in the phone and go watch, you know, an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race UK. You know, it's just not that deep, you know? And this is where I don't understand. Like she says, I'm defending myself. Go ahead, okay? It's just, you're giving more material for drama channels to make videos about you. And listen, if you're going to put it out there, I'm going to make the video, okay? I'm just going to. Okay, my battery died. Because I went and reviewed the cotton candy refresher at Starbucks. Because it's always because of my review. But anyway, I wanted to get in here and I wanted to talk about one other thing that was really interesting to me. You know, Gabbie Hanna talked about how Rachel and these other people, she put some tweet about how they're not artistic or creative, which is why they've only talked about her for like the last several months instead of doing their own art. I don't know. But she said the only reason they talk about her is because they get so many views and so many... listen, okay? I'm going to buy those books, okay? And I hope to God I do get like 600,000 or 1 million views. I'll thank Gabbie Hanna in a video. I'll thank Gabbie. Thank you so much. Your art is so fine. I appreciate so much getting so many views off of your name, you know? I always think it's so funny when people say that. They're like, well, you drama channels just make money off of other people's names. I'm like, okay, like that's such a funny critique to me. It's like, you're watching our videos, right? Okay, so you must be interested. Not to mention it's like, ETV, The Voice, The Talk, Wendy Williams, any kind of late night talk show host. I mean, they're making their show off of other people's names and talking about other people's stories. Andy Cohen, Watch What Happens Live. I mean, you know, just on and on and on. So it just cracks me up about that. No, we're literally just talking about who you guys like. It's like I always say, we're just sitting up in my kitchen, you know, having some coffee, and we're talking about these people and what we think about all of it. So anyway. But what was so funny about this to me was that when I went and I looked at this girl's channel, okay, and, you know, I always try to go in and look at things from all sides. When I went to her channel, and I don't know, I haven't watched her videos, okay, but literally like the last 3 months, she hasn't made a Gabbie Hanna video. So I'm like, what, did this come out today? Like, did this girl start tweeting stuff out in the last 24 hours? Does Gabbie have a new book coming out? Does Gabbie have a new song coming out? Because that's typically when Gabbie Hanna says, I've had it, I'm standing up for myself. Okay, girl, stand up for yourself, okay? But usually it's because she always has a new song coming out, or that she's shadow banned, or that she has a new book coming out. And there's always some kind of like motive there for why she's doing it on this day. So I don't know if in the last 24 hours, because I have so many screenshots in my phone. But you know, it's like, girl, somebody's going to be critiquing your art. There's always going to be somebody out there, right? And what was so interesting was, I went into this girl's channel. I just lost my notes. I went into this girl's channel, and actually the last, hold on, I have a screenshot of it. The last video, she had a video where she did her last book, and it got 82,000 views. Gabbie's talking about hundreds of thousands and millions of views that she's getting off of her what? No, 82,000 views. And then the video before that she did is called Gabbie Hanna Sent Me Her New Poetry Book. That video has 529,000 views. That's a lot of video. That's a lot of views. That was from 5 months ago, okay? And the book is actually, or the video is actually sitting at 27,000 likes and 551 dislikes. What was interesting to me is that I went into this video and I started watching it, and I didn't watch the whole thing. I literally just watched the first couple minutes of it because I want to give a fair critique of the artwork, the poetry, the blowetry of life. And I want to sit there and see what I think of it, you know? So I went into this video, and she starts talking about how at the beginning she says that Gabbie had seen that she had critiqued her work in the past, and so she reached out to her, I think on Twitter, and said, I want to send you a copy of my book. So Gabbie Hanna sent her a copy of her book. Okay, hold on a second. So Gabbie Hanna has an issue with this girl that she is now saying, okay, that has harassed her for months on end, okay? Way before this video came out, that she is saying has harassed her for months, okay? But you reached out to this girl and sent her a copy of your book, which you knew she was going to do a video on and that she was going to review. Now, I don't like this statement, and I don't think I've ever said it in a video, but I may have at one point or another because I'm trying not to be a hypocrite like Gabbie Hanna. But make that make sense, okay? Like, I don't understand that. Make that make sense, okay? Please somebody explain to me why this person that is harassing you, that you are so mad that they have critiqued your work, that you're going to send them a copy of your book basically saying, please critique my work. What world do you live in, Gabbie? That you're then going to turn it around later and say, oh my God, I cannot believe this battery is about to die too. That you're then going to turn it around later and say, this is BS, this person has harassed me. You literally gave her a copy of your book. I am baffled, you guys. I am absolutely baffled. I don't understand any of it. So anyway, I'm not going to go replace another battery on this. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.